All right, guys, today marks day one of our 31 days of beanies. So to begin, what I'm going to show you how to do is the ribbing portion of each of these beanies. So this section right here, and like I mentioned briefly, this is a double brimmed beanie, so it offers a little bit more thickness and it offers a little bit more comfort, if you will. And so it's just a longer band that's simply folded in half, joined together, and then the body of the beanie is worked up. So this video is part one of two videos. It's going to be kind of the same pattern that you're going to follow for every single one of these beanies. So it's going to be a separate video. I'm just going to show you how to do the brim, and then after that you can watch video 2, and I'll show you how to make the body portion of the crosshatch beanie. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, everything will be explained more precisely in the blog post that will be associated with the very first beanie. So I am going to be making a child size brim just for the sake of time. And like I said, you want to use a DK weight or something comparable to a DK weight yarn. Right now I'm just using Caron Simply Soft, and that's what I'll be using for all of these tutorials. And again, I'm making the child size. So remember, you want to have your 5mm hook. This 5mm hook and this yarn weight is what you're going to need for every single beanie. So don't think you're going to have to change stuff for each video. It's literally that simple, and I did that with intention and purpose. Okay, enough rambling. Let's get started. So we're going to begin by making a slip knot. And the way I make my slip knots is I put my tail here, my my working yarn on the right side. I kind of hold it like this, stick my fingers through like this, turn once, go down, grab the working yarn, and pull it through. Okay, that's how I taught my 4-year-old when she was 4 how to crochet and make a slip knot, and that's how I have taught all of my students thereafter. So real simple. So to begin, the child's beanie is a chain of 16. Now, if you were doing the adult beanie, you would chain 21. So I'm going to chain 16 real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So now what we're going to do is kind of create this faux ribbing look, and it's really simple to do. All we're going to do is begin in the second chain from the hook. So this does not count as a chain. We ignore that. This would be chain 1, and this is chain 2. So we simply insert our hook. We're going to yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. It's just a simple single crochet. So go to the next one, insert, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Really, really simple. We're going to do this all the way across. Really simple, like I said, not hard at all. We're just working the single crochet to create, our foundation chain. Just like this. Got a little extra fiber there hanging on for dear life. And it's really easy after you kind of go through this first row. Right now we're just trying to, get our hook in there and set it all up for success. Alrighty, so there's our first little row. Now the key to the faux ribbing is really, really simple. Once you get to the end of the row, you're going to chain 1 and turn. So we've turned our work. Now, I do have a video over on my YouTube channel explaining how to always get straight edges. But for the sake of time, I'll give a brief explanation here. So if we look right here, you can see you've got kind of like your little V right there, and your chain 1 is coming out of that. That is an indicator that, hey, we've got a chain 1 there, and that is going to count as a single crochet. So we're not going to put anything into that space. The space that we're going to work into is this next space right here. And rather than sticking our hook under both of these, this little V right here, rather than doing that, because we want to create that faux ribbing, we're simply going to stick our hook into the back loop and work our single crochets as normal. So again, we're not sticking under right there, both of those loops. We're going to stick only into the back loop, just like so. And we're going to do this all the way across the row. Really, really simple. I'll do a few and then I'll go slow, just so you can see, again, exactly what we're doing to get this look. So here we are. We're not going to go under both, right? We're going to go only into the back loop. See both right there. There's the little V, 1 and 2. We're only going to go into the back loop. Now, a little thing that I like to do at the end of each row. So let me get to the end real quick. Rather than working in the back loop of the very last stitch, I like to go ahead and work the whole stitch. And the reason for this is I find that it gives me a much cleaner side versus working in the back loop. So it's a chain 1, okay, chain 1, and then you literally do row 2 over and over again. You do a chain 1, single crochets in the back loop all the way across. Don't forget to do a whole one at the end, chain 1, so go back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work up the rest of this really quick off camera, and then I'm going to join it and show you how to get everything set up so that you can easily begin the body of the beanie. So if you're doing the child's beanie, you'll want to complete 70 rows of this. Okay, so we've already got 2 done. You want to do, what is that? Quick mental math, 67 more rows or 68 more rows. And then for an adult beanie, you want to have a total of 76 rows completed. So again, for a child's beanie, it's a chain 16 for a total of 70 rows. And for an adult beanie, it's a chain 21 for a total of 76 rows. So go get your rows done and then come back and I'll show you how to do the rest. Okay, so now that we have our brim all made up, we're going to take the 2 ends right here and we're going to seam or single crochet them together. So here's what I like to do. I stick my hook right underneath that first stitch and we're just going to kind of line things up right here. And all we're going to do is we're just going to single crochet our way across to form a ring out of this band that we've made. So you're just going to go under each of the stitches, making very just going slow and making sure that everything is nice and lined up. So real simple, and I'm just doing single crochets. I find that if you do a slip stitch, it's just a little too tight, and so obviously because we want this to stretch, we don't want to cut off any tension that we would otherwise have. So the single crochet stitches help to give us that stretch that we need. So again, stop every few seconds, or every few stitches rather, and just make sure things are still lining up. And we're just doing this, like I said, all the way across, just going slow to make sure that it's all nice and crisp looking. Real simple. Just making sure those last few stitches are lined up. And don't forget to work the single crochet there in that chain 1 space at the end. So we're there at the end, and now, so this would be like the inside out part. So this is where we're going to fold it and create our band. So I pull this out just a little bit so it doesn't come out. So here's our little tube, if you will. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these ends and see how I've got kind of like this knot that came, and then I had some scrap yarn, so there was a join right there. We're not going to cut any of that off. We're not going to worry about any of that stuff. All we're going to do is we're going to take these ends and we're going to grab them and fold them. So all that's going inside. So we're grabbing them and folding them just like this. And all that stuff is just going to be tucked away inside the fold of the band. So if you did the adult size, you have 76 rows. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to do a base row all the way around for a total of however many rows we had. So if we did 76, we want to have 76 single crochet all the way around. And for me, I did 70 because this is the child size. And if you do right here, look what I did, how that's on the other side, like where your knot is. This is real simple. I know it kind of looks like a jumbled mess right now, but my working yarn is on the inside of the tube. So all I'm going to do is just flip it like that. And now my slip knot is on the correct side, just like that. So this tail too, right here, just tuck that down in there. You don't even got to worry about sewing in any ends. So we're all tight and we're good and we're ready to go. And so remember, you're wanting to single crochet around the ribbing for as many rows as you did. So I'm making the child size, therefore I did 70 rows. And you just want to kind of, there aren't really stitches necessarily that you can work into. So you just want to kind of space them out, if that makes sense. So just make sure they're not too close or too tight together. And all I'm doing is just working, and you're going to kind of have to like force it in there because again, you're creating stitches. And so it's a little harder to get your hook in there. So we're just going all the way around. We're just working around, and again, making sure that we have as many single crochets as we do rows. So for the adult, it would be 76 single crochets, and for the child, it would be a total of 70. So once you've got this joined, folded, because remember it's a double brim, so we've got it folded, and once this is closed, you are ready to begin your the body of your beanie. So this is how you're going to start every single beanie in the 31 beanies challenge, just like this. You're going to work all the way around, and then when you get back here, when you get to this last stitch, so like let's say right in here is where I would do stitch number 70. I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of that, and now I'm ready to begin the body of the beanie. So with that being said, you could, if you want to get ahead, you could go ahead and work up ribbings, 31 ribbings, and have them all ready to go in the colors of your choice, and just be ready to grab it and begin the beanie as we work through the next 31 days. So that's an option. But again, this is how every single beanie is going to start. All the patterns for the body itself are going to be different as far as the stitches and just different things that we're doing. But this right here is how all of the beanies are going to start, with that nice double brim. And so the first beanie that we're doing is the crosshatch beanie, which I showed you at the beginning of the video. But just so you know, these are the other beanies that we will be doing. And again, they all have that exact same type of ribbing. Every single one of them do. All have that same ribbing. So just so you know, that was by design and with intention and purpose to make this whole challenge just a tad bit easier and to be a quick project for you. So again, once you get this down, you can go ahead and watch the very first beanie video, which again is the crosshatch, and you're good to go. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy this challenge, and I look forward to seeing all of your beanies.